What it do, what it do? Welcome back, Sour Crew. It's your boy Soul, aka My Name's Not Lemon. Welcome back to another episode of Melancholia N Haloes. Welcome back. For today's theme of the episode, I wanted it to be a little bit lighthearted. So, I figured, why not ask people I know what were their misconceptions of me when they first met me? Like their assumptions before they really knew me for me. So I made a list, and on this list I thought about a couple of the things that I have heard over the years that people have said about me that they thought when they were first getting to know me or before they even knew me. So this is mostly have to touch in like high school and like beginning of college. And I also asked it on my Instagram. If you're not following me, Melancholia N Haloes, what's up? Or My Name's Not Lemon. So I asked this on my Name's Not Lemon account, so my personal account, and a couple of my friends responded, and I thought it was funny because it correlated with what I have heard before. So let's just get right into this, right? Number one, which is the number one thing that I've heard, is I thought you were intimidating. Me? Little old me? Intimidated. So I think this has to do with my, what is it, RBF? Resting bitch face? Listen. I know I could come off a little bit serious. Well, I know I could be serious, but my face, right? It could be a little bit stoic, a little bit stone cold, lacking of emotions, if you will. But intimidating, maybe when I'm upset, when I have some type of attitude, when I want to tell you something, when you're getting under my skin, when you're rubbing me the wrong way, maybe. And maybe that's a plus. But I think that's the number one thing that I have been told, is that maybe I'm a little bit harder to approach because I feel like people feel like I would come off some type of way. I don't have this like friendly demeanor. You know, my customer service isn't on naturally. You feel me? So that brings me to something one of my followers had said. He said, I was scared of you, but also had a crush on you at the same time. You cool, still dope. Now, what is it with people liking the bad boy image? Like, where does that come from? Like, I'd like to know, because it's everybody. You know, like, those who like men or dominant and masculine figures, whether they be men or women, or they like that, the bad boys. They like that image of like the mystery clouded in the shadows. Why? I'd like to know. Because that's exactly what this is giving me here. I was scared of you, but I had a crush on you. How does that work? How can you have a crush on someone that you're scared of? I got questions. So, is this intimidating factor alluring? Does it make you like question and wonder to the point where I'm always on your mind, or they're always on your mind, and then you develop a crush? Ooh, food for thought. Because if you know everything about someone, or you know them well enough, or maybe they're an open book, then it leaves you less to wonder about, which means they're on your mind maybe a little bit less. Whereas someone that's shrouded in mystery, you're always thinking and wondering why, and you're making up these stories and these fantasies in your head. Therefore, maybe they're on your mind a little bit more, and it gives you more time to really think. Interesting. Number two, you're mean. Mean? Me? So I think this goes hand in hand with the looking intimidating. So, of course, like, you know, when you look intimidating, when you look unapproachable, automatically I think people assume you're mean. you're not a kind person, you're probably going to tell them to F off or whatever it may be. So I think that makes sense. And have you been listening to the pod? Me? Look at all the trouble that I've gotten myself in over the past 2 years alone. Because I'm a kind person. Because I'm emotionally intelligent and empathetic. And I make all these excuses for people. I always put myself in a very vulnerable position. And I always end up eating shit at the end of the day because of that. So, mean? I don't think so. I'd like it to be. That last episode I was talking about? I thought I came out very mean. And let me be honest, it felt good. 3. 3 is actually something that I'm surprised about that I also get often. Is you're a sexual person / know what you're doing in terms of like sex and stuff. Okay, I'm very honest in this podcast, okay? So y'all know that's not the truth. But that's something that I would get a lot. And even when, starting to date or talking to people, they would always assume the same. And even with friends. Like, it was like a surprise that I wasn't hoeing around or that I wasn't experienced in sex and whatnot. And I'm not too sure why that is, to be honest. I kind of think it has to do with confidence. I do have natural confidence. And I think confidence is deemed and seen as being sexy and alluring and desirable. I think confidence is also something that people strive to have and that people want, and that comes with a lot of benefits in our society. And so, because people desire that and people want it, and I think in our media, a lot of the characters that are portrayed are very confident. I believe that we want that. And then, because, I don't know if this is like for everywhere in the world, but America, I think, that we're fed a lot of sexual content. And so that's another desirable thing for us. So I think we just put the 2 and 2 together, sexual natures and just being sexual in general. And being sexual means that you are desirable and that people want you and that you are quote unquote worthy of attention. And I think being confident aligns with those exact same thoughts and feelings, and so they get like mushed together. That's just my thoughts on it anyways. Number 4, you have your life together / are well put together. Now, last podcast when I talked about my failed opportunity, which basically, if you haven't watched it, if you're not going to go back and watch it, I succumbed to the pressure of this opportunity and I failed. Which is something I just didn't think would happen and that I didn't think would ever come about. I just never thought that would happen to me. Which is maybe blind confidence at that point. But, oh my gosh, all these jump cuts. I'm over here, it's 10 minutes to 12. Midnight. And I'm sitting here filming thinking it would be quiet. It is not. What? I didn't even notice that fridge was making noise this entire time. Is this a whole ass fail? I'm filming this in the living room right now. Man. Anyways, the opportunity failed. I failed. And going back to like me being a nice person and how I kind of get the shit end of the stick because I always make excuses for people. Again, got myself into an unfavorable situation, as I called it. And now I'm suffering those consequences. So, do I have my life together? Hell no. Hell no, I don't. Am I well put together? it depends on like what aspect of life are you talking about. I have it put together. Emotionally, I'm fighting those battles every single day, so I think I have a lot of experience with that. And so am I put together that way? I think I am. I have my ups and downs, my down days, my good days, but I think for the most part, yeah, I can say that I have it together in that aspect. Career-wise, hell no. I'm super confused and lost in terms of that. My social life, questionable. I would like it to be a lot better. I think maybe I actually do know if my career was a little bit more steady, then my social life would be a lot more dynamic and experimental and lively, because I would have the means to do so, right? But I think I'm okay. I think I keep contact with my friends and I show my love and support and make sure they know that I'm there for them. And yeah, I think I'm okay with that. I think it's career that I'm really lacking. Stability in, and just stability in general, I think I'm lacking in at the moment. But some things are just out of my hand, right? So I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna go where I can, and I'm just gonna survive and I'm keep on trucking, right? So maybe depending on like what you're lacking in your life, you'll probably look to someone else that has that and be like, damn, you're well put together, huh? So I guess I can see that. Number 5, a drinker slash party goer. Now, I stopped drinking maybe like what, 22, maybe even 21. I started drinking when I was 18. I don't know. I think just coming from a family where alcoholism is a thing, I think I just don't. I'm not really too fond of it, and I only started drinking because we were young. Drinking was like the norm and the thing, and it was what you did to be social. And since I was young, naive, and lacking social skills, I drank. And to be honest, I was a very good drinker. And in the back of my head, that always worried me, because I always thought, like, can I succumb to alcoholism as well? Can I get led down a dark path? So it didn't take long for my best friend to be like, you want to know, I want to concentrate on school. I don't want to be going out drinking and partying anymore. I want to stay home, play PlayStation, go play soccer, and concentrate on my studies. Get your ass to the fucking store, buy yourself a fucking PlayStation, and hop on that shit if you want to talk to me, because I'm gonna be MIA. So what the fuck did I do? I fucking bought myself a PlayStation. And after that, I had stopped drinking. And I had picked it up a few times over the years just to see how it would go for me, and it never went well. My diet just wasn't the same as it was when I was younger. I used to eat a lot of heavy, greasy foods as well. So drinking was a lot easier. And then once I got older, my eating habits changed and I ate a lot less and a lot lighter. So drinking took a bigger toll on my body and made me a lot more sick. So that just kind of like really stopped me from drinking. Like, it just wasn't fun for me anymore. Like, it didn't come with any positive benefits. And this led to one of my followers saying, at first, I thought you were a social butterfly. I was fooled, lol. So, I think this is a very accurate and understandable first impression, because I am a social person, and I feel as though I can talk and get along with a lot of different people. And in those type of environments where you have to be social, primarily work, that's where I met this person, was work. When you're able to talk to people easily, hold conversations, be friendly with a bunch of acquaintances, it would make sense that you would think that they're very social and outgoing and, like, quote unquote, the life of the party. Now, do I believe I'm the life of the party? I really do motherfucking believe I can be. Don't play. Oh my god, it is fucking midnight. Why are you outside running amok? You hear all this? I thought this was gonna be a fucking safe time. I really did. I really did think I had this shit in the bag, and I was like, oh my god, like, it's gonna be a lot less noisy in the background. No. Are you kidding me? And there ain't nothing I could do. Dang it. Darn it. So with that one, I completely understand and believe that one. And you know what? Connect me with... I was going to say connect me with the right people and I'll be really social. Like, I think all it takes is the fact that I don't like driving. I think blocks a lot of my socialness, to be honest. Somebody pick my fucking no driving ass up and I'm social, you feel me? Anyways. And plus, since I don't smoke or drink anymore, it's so easy to drink and smoke and then let me know, oh my god, let's, talk and to be social that way. So now that I'm sober, that makes it, I don't want to say more difficult, but a little bit more awkward. Because I feel as though if you're drunk or high, people are like, oh, you're talking a lot, and you're social, you're talking to me, you're doing this because you are under the influence of something. But when you're not, people are like, what the fuck, you're weird, right? Anyways, number 6. And I think this goes along with 1 and 2, which was intimidating and mean. Number 6 is stuck up. And so I feel like the same with the demeanor, with the stone cold phase. People are going to be like, like, you're unapproachable, like, you're stuck up, like, why are you acting like that? Like, you're too good for us. You're like, what is it? You feel me? So I think that makes sense. I don't have anything else to say about that one. Number 7, dominant. So this is something that I've gotten from dating. And something that I've noticed in the type of people that I attract. Now, the way I lay out for dating, I am a gay man. Usually the easiest and only way we have to date. Damn, they really over here talking up a storm back there. You hear them? Midnight! What y'all doing out there? And they starting to get real loud too. We trying to sleep. We're trying to sleep out here. Anyway, so dominant. So, of course, the way I laid out my dating... Oh, that's what I was saying. So, like, within the gay community, there's only so many things you can do to find a mate, to find a partner. All the good ones, quote-unquote, are taken. They're already in relationships. Duh. Get snatched up real motherfucking quick. Yeah, that's it. And then in the gay scene, like, you're limited to your location, how many people are actually single and looking at the time, and then, of course, like, who are you attracted to, who's attracted to you, like, who do you vibe with, makes it even smaller, right? So it's a little frustrating. So one of the main things that we have to date are dating apps. And so I know that the way I lay out my dating app and what I say in my bio, the questions that I answer, the pictures that I post, it's going to attract a certain type of group. The open-minded, nerdy, geeky types, basically. And because I think how I come off, I get a lot of flamboyant, expressive people. I can't keep sitting here and complaining about this girl back here. Like, why do you have to talk so high, so loud? And I know they're sitting there right in front of their porch. Midnight! Ugh. And so what I've gotten from these dating apps is that a lot of people will be hitting me up thinking that I'm like super dominant and I'm ready to like fuck their lives up and they booty holes, right? Which is like half true. But in actuality, I'm my own princess. I want to be... Dude, I can't keep talking over this girl. I'm ready to fucking walk up. What's going on? Not this podcast episode supposed to be lighthearted and fun. And me about to run up on these bitches. Like, Don't think just because you pull up every day listening to some fucking Blackpink, some fucking BTS, and you have good motherfucking music taste that I'm not gonna run up. Back to the topic at hand. Yeah, they just be thinking I'm like super dominant, right? And that I'm like that kind of force. But in reality, I just want to be taken care of and snuggled and held. But at the same time, like, they really do be catching on to something because I am dominant. You feel me? So it's stressful because I'm like a dominant person looking for a more dominant, dominator person. And what I found is everybody that I attract is like super submissive or that wants to be submissive. And it's a little frustrating. But anyways, that's not here nor there. That could be a whole nother fucking topic of an episode. And this one comes into, so this impression comes from someone from high school. So this was probably like around 2010. And it said not the first impression or misconception they had of me, but the earliest was that as time passed, I knew you'd come out eventually. Now, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but I think a lot of people that are in the community that have had to come out, I think feel some type of way about this. Which, no tea, no shade. But I don't know, it comes off a little rude. Because back then I didn't know. I honestly didn't. I had no idea until I hit senior year of high school and I started really coming to terms with it and really thinking about it and being like, holy shit, like, this girl pissing me off. That, you know, maybe I'm bisexual or maybe I'm gay, but all I knew is that I liked men, right? So, I don't know, hearing this kind of doesn't feel too great, and I don't know why it doesn't. But it made me think, and the reason I put it in here, because I was thinking of leaving it out, but the reason I put it in here was, I wonder if so many other people around me knew before I did, and it changed their perception of me to the point where they didn't want to befriend me, or they didn't want to hang out with me, or they didn't want to get to know me. And it really makes me think that if maybe I came off straight, if my life would have turned out different, if the type of friends that I had would have been different. But at the same time, I feel like I made really good friends in high school. It's one of my biggest regrets, and I try not to regret about it because I wasn't emotionally stable and didn't have the right social skills and awareness to know any better. But I made really, really good friends, and from like 1 minute to the next, I would just stop talking to them. And it wasn't something that I did on purpose, and it wasn't something I was doing consciously. It's just something that I did. And I didn't notice, like, I didn't really come to terms with this until about 2015. So like 2 years after I graduated high school. And I realized that a friend that I still have today, that we were like really close. And we used to like FaceTime all the time, talk all the time. And then I feel like from 1 minute to the next, I just stopped talking to him. And I realized this at one of my close friends at the time. I would say best friends at the time. I was at a wedding of one of his family members, and it was brought to my attention because, okay, how do I explain this? Dang, I am so sorry if you can hear all that commotion. I really am. Choo, it's driving me up the wall right now. So, the close friend that I had a brother, and that brother was best friends with someone. Well, we all went to high school together, and they were best friends with someone, and that someone was best friends with the guy that I was like best friends with, right? And we kind of, I don't know how conversation started talking about that or whatever. I think he got brought up, and then it really hit me, and I felt so fucking guilty and so bad, and it made me really sad to think that he was such a good person and someone that I could have really benefited having in my life. And looking back, I was like, damn, like I wonder where I would be right now, where my life would be if I kept him as a friend, if I understood what like friendship was and what it meant to be consistent in people's lives. And I ended up reaching out to him and apologizing. And even like now to this day, I still really like him as a person. And, you know, we talk here and there. And it makes me think that I missed out on a lot of really, really good friendships that I now crave and think I would really benefit from today. But, so that's what that question made me think of. And the reason it made me think of that specific memory was because the people that I did end up meeting were amazing, and I feel like I learned so much from them and got so much love and care from them. And what if, you know, they didn't judge me, and they didn't care if I was gay or straight or whatever. They just liked me for the person that I was. So maybe at the end of the day, it was a positive thing because it aligned me with genuinely positive and good people. So, if you happen to be watching this, friend that I had in high school that I stopped talking to, know that I have a lot of love for you. And even though we're not like close now, I do have a lot of regret. So if you're seeing this, I just talked to you, congratulated on a piece of work you're getting. If you were wondering who you were, it's you. This is another one from someone from high school, which we met in high school. So I thought you were funny and sweet, and when I first met you, I remember being in chemistry class. Now this fool right here is a real motherfucking one. I love this fool right here. Super fucking talented artist. A super genuinely kind soul. And just an overall really good energy and a good person to be around. And the fact that he thought I was funny and sweet, he was seeing me for who I really was, huh? So that makes me happy because I feel like I could be a comic. I could be straight comedy. And I mean, I am a sweet person, which has gotten me into a lot of trouble, which makes me want to be like, fucking rotten person. But you know, it is what it is. This one comes a little bit more recent. So I met this person in college for my job. And maybe I should tell the story about how I met this fool, right? So we were sitting up at a job, and it was Thanksgiving 20... Oh my gosh, it had to be pretty recent, like 2016? 17... Yeah, maybe? Because I want to say 15, but I think that's too far back. I think this might have been 2016. It was the end of the night, we were all getting ready to go, and the homie M was talking about, yo, we should go to the fucking clubs. Like, we should go to the bars, right? In Long Beach at the Pike. And I was like, I don't like going to bars. I don't really drink. I don't know. And I had the homie, the best friend, with me. And at the time, I wasn't driving. At the time, I don't think I was driving. I didn't have a car. And so I got dropped off. And he was like, come on, I can fucking take you home, you know, like, I can take you there, like, and I was like, I don't know. So I asked the homie, the best friend, if he wanted to go. And he was like, yeah, I'm down to go. And I was like, ugh. So we ended up going. And so it was like our little clique, our little work group that we had. And he was like, yo, can this dude Jay come? No way. With your loud ass motherfucking car. But the voice and stuff, I think they fucking went ahead and fucking went home. Shit. Talking all up in my motherfucking video for the whole entire fucking time. About fucking time. I should fucking sit here and record all this shit over. I won't, but I should. So he was like, yo, can fucking Jay come with us? I was like, who the fuck is Jay? And he was like, yo, you know Jay? Like, this is him, this blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I have never seen this fool in my life. And I was working, like, every single day. I was like, when the fuck did he start working? Who is he? And so I was like, yeah, they are like, cool, it's whatever. I can't remember if he drove with us. I wanna say he did drive with us there, like in the same car as us. I think he did. And we all went, we all had a good time. He did because they were drinking in the car, and they were like drinking. And we went. I'm not gonna say we had a good time because I ended up spending all this money on my best friend so he could get some drinks. I wasn't drinking. Got my shoes stepped on and ruined. Hanging with a bunch of drunk people. Got boobs in my face. Shout out to M. Other M. The female M. So we make our way back, and this motherfucker's drunk. And I'm like, oh, hell no. And I'm like, I'm about to drive his car. So they're like, yo, drive his car, drive him home. And I was like, okay. So I get in his car. And he's like, yo, can you just drive me up the street to the Jack in the Box? I just need to eat some food and sober up a little bit and stay in my car. And I was like, are you sure I can drive you home? Like, it ain't a problem. He was like, no, I'm sure. So I was like, okay, like a dumbass. Went, drove his car, which he had a big car, right? And I never drove, like, big old cars like that before, but I did. And I drove it into the fucking drive-thru. And I was really fucking proud of myself because I don't be driving through no drive-thrus. At the time, I didn't. So I was like, hell yeah. And so I fucking just got food for him, parked his car, and took off, right? Got with the other homies. He took me home or whatever. This is probably months later, right? So that was like our first interaction. And then I started seeing him at work more. And I was like, who the fuck is this? He kind of cute. And so we ended up like becoming like acquaintances or whatever. And I was like, yo, you want to come fucking kick it at my place? Like, I think I said like smoke weed. I had started smoking, I think. And he was like, yo, can I bring A over with me? Like, and I was like, okay, like I know A. He was like another coworker. I didn't really know him though. And then we became the Three Musketeers, bitch. And they the fucking real ones. They the homies. I talked about them a few times on here before. And we've been friends ever since. But anyways, he said, whole backstory on how I met this fool. He said, first impression, I remember you talked a lot of us at work. Chatterbox, LOL. Listen, that's why I done said that the impression of me... Oh, the person that said that they had thought I was a social butterfly, but they were fooled. That was female M. The one that boobs in my face when we went to the bar. See? I'm a chatterbox. Like, I'd be talking. And I'd be talking to everybody. So, you know. It's no... You know... It makes sense why they would think I'm a little social butterfly. And that I'd be, you know... outgoing and shit. Now, this one is recent. So, I went on Bumble BFF to try to make some friends. And I connected with this dude. And then we got to talking and we became friendly. Sadly, my fucking life was like imploding at the time, and then it imploded. So I haven't really made like that much more effort to like really solidify our friendship and stuff. But he's a really cool dude, and I really like him. He's super nice. He's really good to talk to. Really good conversationalist. Very interesting. He's cool. I like him. He said the first impression of me was, this guy looks cool. Still the same. I think you're a really great, unique, and honest person. Thank you. I feel like that is like so humbling for me. Now, I don't know if humbling is the right word, but flattering for me. Because it's like before, all the impressions were you're mean, you're unattainable, like the impressions you're giving off aren't welcoming. And then they started switching up, right? Once I started like getting into college, you know, you're social, you're very talkative, and now you're like unique. Thank you very much. And I'm an honest and great person. Like, I feel as though that shows a lot of growth that I've had and how much healthier I am, like a healthier mindset. And looking back at my high school times, I was completely unaware of what, like, such a deep depressive state that I was in. And because I was raised extremely isolated and alone, I did not have a lot of experience with people. And although I think naturally I can be like a social person and nice and kind, and I think it makes interacting very easy for me, I didn't understand like how to like really make friends and keep friends, and what it meant to have a like a not a sustainable sustainable relationship with people. And that's something that I had to actually learn, because that's something that you're supposed to learn growing up as a child to a teenager to an adult. And it's something that I didn't realize and learn until I got to 17 and a half, to my senior year of high school, when I was introduced to, or reintroduced to, my best friend at the time, my late best friend. And he introduced me to like his people, and I still to this day don't know how. And I really do think he was an old wise soul, and he clocked it, and he just knew. And he was like, yo, we got to get you like meeting people, and we got to get you out there, and we got to party, and we got to do this, and we got to do that. And he really raised me, quote unquote, and introduced me to society and the world. And to be 100% completely honest, I have no fucking idea where I would be without him. I really don't. I don't want to be dramatic, like he saved me, but he really did exponentially accelerate my growth into becoming just an average person able to survive in society and our culture as a whole. Like it still like blows my mind. And I think it's something that I've always thought I would talk about on like YouTube. I wanted to be fucking like a YouTuber or a digital content creator since like 2010. And it's something that I've always kind of thought about and talked about in my head and stuff. But I'm surprised that I've never sat down and like made a video, or like even with this podcast and what this podcast is about, I've never talked about it. So if you're interested, put in the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, hit me up in the DMs. Melancholia N Haloes. My name's not Lemon. What the heck? Sorry, there was a fly in here. And let me know, and I'll talk about it. It's a weird story, but I don't think it's uncommon, which is sad. But yeah, so that impression kind of really made my day. It really showed me how much I've come, and I've come a long way, and I'm still growing, and hopeful that I'm going to be able to find my clan and my crew and, you know, my soul family, quote unquote. I feel like the people that I have around me, I'm very close to, and I love dearly and greatly, and I hope that I'm there for them as much as they're there for me. But I still feel as though something is missing. Like I haven't found the group of people that truly get and understand me, while at the same time hold and share the same interests as me, and we're able to like connect on all levels. You know what I mean? The friends that I have now, there's always something that separates us, right? Either they're very outgoing and they like to party and they like to be out and they're very extroverted, and I'm the complete opposite. Or like I very much value my alone time, and I can be alone and I could thrive being alone, and then someone else doesn't, and they really need someone there for them all the time, and they really need to be talking to someone all the time, and then we kind of clash like that, right? So I'm kind of hopeful that because I'm healing myself, and you know, every single day I'm learning something new about myself and I'm thriving, that I'm going to be able to manifest and attract those type of people that are on the same wavelength as me. And to end today's podcast on such a, I think, a sweet note. So my cousin replied to my post, and I think misread the question or misinterpreted it, but they had said, as like in first, I was thinking like first impressions of me, right? So like family, I don't think would be able to do that unless we met like at a later date. But she had said, us little having cousin time all together running around the apartment playing. So when we were younger, although all of our lives were hectic and all over the place, and maybe our parents and loved ones were very lost and confused, I feel like our childhood was, I don't want to say like amazing, but we had so many good memories because all of us cousins lived in the same apartment complex. And so we all used to run around and play with each other when we were younger. And I think that's, I don't know if that's a very common thing, but I know like for Hispanic families, like usually we're big families, right? And so there's lots of cousins. And that's just such a fond memory and times that I have. And I think really cemented a lot for me as an adult, being able to look back at those memories and have such fond times. And I think the friends and family that I'm looking to make now as an adult stem from those times as a child, and how fun it was and how loved I felt and how comfortable and interactive, vulnerable I was back then. And just thinking about that kind of made me really happy and made me think that hopefully one day, I don't know if one day soon, but one day that I'd be able to start a family of my own and have a man by my side and have kids and be able to offer them a life that I've always wanted. And just being able to nurture and love and raise another being, just thinking about it brings me so much joy. So I'm glad that I'm glad she wrote that. And leaving off on that positive note, that's going to be it for today's Sour Crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any impressions of me that you would like to share, please hit me up. My name's not Lemon is my personal social medias. Melancholia N Haloes, the podcast socials. If you're watching the video on YouTube, please comment below. And let me know, like, what, for you personally, what do people think of you, or what have you been told, like, people's first impressions have been of you. And I just keep thinking about the dude I was talking about earlier and how, like, we stopped talking and I apologized to him and stuff. You know, if you have any experiences like that with me and feel like you would like you have questions you would like answered, you're just curious, or you want some closure or some type of way, please don't hesitate to hit me up. I am a mature adult now and will be happy, and I will gladly do so. So until next time, later, Sour Crew. Okay, I'm a little further than the camera now, so I gotta scoot up. Bye.